your show Cricket on Air. Continuing with our World Cup story, the 1987 World Cup was the first World Cup that was played outside England. The first three ones were held in England for various reasons, but other teams were also trying to host the World Cup for themselves. This time around, India and Pakistan put their hand up and said that they would like to host it. Big stadiums, large roaring crowds and some big hitting with the bat made this a tournament to remember. And what's more, it was sponsored by our very own Dhirubhai Ambani owned Reliance Industries and was called the Reliance Cup.
With the World Cup being held in their home turf, India and Pakistan were the favourites. In fact, the groups were made in such a way that it was possible for India and Pakistan to face off in the final. Both made it to the semis along with England and Australia.
Wow, that's so exciting. So what happened? India and Pakistan could play in the finals of a World Cup. How awesome is that?
Sorry to say this, Sri. Don't want to spoil the fun for you. Against the run of play, the visiting teams won in both the semis.
Well, let's just say that Graham Gooch swept Maninder Singh off his feet in that match.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what happened was Graham Gooch scored a century and all he did in that entire century was just sweep Maninder Singh.
Wow, that's an interesting tactic.
Yeah, well, and then there was a second semi-final in which Zaheer Abbas called the Australian team a bunch of club cricketers before the match. I guess the Australian team lived up to that by clubbing Pakistan out of the World Cup when they defeated them in that match.
That's interesting. But in a jam-packed stadium in front of 100,000 spectators at Eden Gardens, England made harakiri in the final and Australia won by a mere 7 runs. Alan Border became the first Australian captain to hold the World Cup. What a fascinating moment.
Wow.
Indeed.
Great. Winning by a margin of 7 runs. It must have been an awesome final.